Hey there, everyone. My name is Brandon. I'm a certified Microsoft AI engineer and data analyst. Last month, I saw that the annual Anaconda State of Data Science and AI report came out. I got a chance back then to just skim through it, but just recently, I wanted to really dig deep into it and see what I could extract that would be really valuable. So I want to share my notes with you guys and hopefully give you something really valuable that you can take into 2026 in your organization to help you really utilize AI to the full of its potential and to really capitalize on this great opportunity that we have to see how businesses change, to see how our work changes. It's a really exciting time. So let's just get into it, right? So the first insight that I found was organizations early on want to define what success looks like for a project. What is the real ROI? Because if you look in the report, it says that only 22% of respondents say they would describe their organization's AI deployment as strategic. So that means that 78% of people feel that their organization's AI deployment is not strategic. So really being strategic, being specific, being thoughtful about AI projects, that's something that's really going to be valuable there. Also, you can see here, 57% report that it takes over 1 month to move from deployment to production of AI projects. So it really, if you don't have a very specific defined strategy, then that's only going to increase those deployment times, right? Some of the statements here I liked was an unclear or absent strategy can limit the productivity of AI initiatives, right? So if we're strategic about it, then it's really going to increase the productivity of the initiatives that happen in an organization. And so we'll go into point number 2 now. Track your AI-assisted decisions. That's something that can be really valuable. I liked this point. It says, according to McKinsey, executives spend about 40% of their time making decisions. So despite executives spending a large chunk of time making decisions, if you look here, many organizations are tracking their ROI by productivity, by cost savings, but only 25% are monitoring go/no-go decision error reduction or risk mitigation impact. So what does that mean? You can imagine an AI agent inside of a RAG system, and then an executive is using it to make decisions. Do we want to pursue this project? Do we want to pursue this partnership? And inside that RAG system, the executive has all of their business information to make that decision. They have a little prompt and things like that. And so now how does that decision actually come out? Did the AI give the best information? So whenever you track that, that's going to allow you to refine the RAG system. Maybe it needs more information you find. Maybe the prompt needs a little bit of tweaking. But that shows that there's a great deal of opportunity here going into 2026 to really focus on that area. And this is also interesting. It said 14% of people are not tracking ROI formally, or I guess you could say they also aren't sure how ROI is being tracked. So I thought that's kind of interesting. So if you're just tracking ROI, you're doing pretty good. All right, so let's go on to the next insight. Number 3, invest in soft skills and where others aren't. So you think about, for us technical workers, we got to focus on those soft skills that AI can't demonstrate, and that's going to help us to increase our value. So really, to say it in simpler terms, now is really the time to just focus on trying to be a good person, trying to be a good coworker, trying to show that we care about people. And that's something that's going to be really valuable, because AI may be able to help people to learn to code faster. It may help with bugs getting solved quicker. But being a pleasant person to work with, now that's something that's a little bit harder. So that's something that kind of relies on us as well. In here too, it really highlights the importance of a combined approach. It says, it's important to remember that AI tools alone can't solve all business challenges. A tool won't have the fundamental knowledge of a business initiative or the nuanced reasoning to fully identify team-specific roadblocks or improvement areas. So enterprises still need human talent. And if you're looking to change roles and you are a technical person, some of the things you might want to look into is becoming an AI engineer or a data scientist, an AI researcher, because these are the ones that the companies are hiring for right now. But really focusing on developing our critical thinking abilities and problem framing, that's really going to be very strategically valuable for businesses. All right, let's move on to number 4. Don't neglect AI preparation. And that comes from this page here, I believe. So you can see when respondents look to move data science or AI models to a production environment, the recurring problems that happen for them as data quality and pipeline consistency issues, security, privacy, and regulatory compliance. So really, before moving into an AI transformation, asking yourself, well, is your data really prepared for that? Have you thought about the security and the privacy and regulatory compliance that you'll have to address for that system? So really having a solid foundation of infrastructure and processes, that's going to smooth out the whole process of making an AI system. This insight here is really important as well. Having the proper processes and guidelines in place to focus on quality data, minimizing security risks, and sharing results and use cases across developer teams can all help people to get on the same page regarding AI model usage. So that really brings us into our next point. Make AI use and results clear for the team, and don't AI shame, right? So share your prompts with people, record your prompts, save them, because sometimes we might come up with a good prompt and we get good results. Share that with others. Let them know that you're using AI as well, and that's going to also contribute to the trust within the organization, that it's okay for people to be using AI in your organization, and that's going to help them to feel more comfortable, and that's going to help with the onboarding process. I like this quote by Seth Clark. He says, if your organization responds to security risks and data privacy challenges by putting its head in the sand and blocking developers from access to AI tools, then yes, innovation will be stifled. If you instead enable and empower these teams to build solutions that can meet your security and privacy requirements, you'll actually see innovation flourish. So the answer for AI security concerns is not just running away from it, but really addressing it, right? That's something we really want to look for in the next year going forward. Point number 6, give open source a shot. This was kind of interesting to me. It says here that 92% of respondents use open source AI tools and models, with 52% strongly preferring or generally using open source. So I thought that was kind of interesting. I would imagine, though, that most of that 92% is going to tools rather than models, but I do think that we're going to see more of that. And I think there was a quote somewhere that really highlighted that. Let me find it. Yeah, there it was. I knew I was looking for it earlier too. So you can see here, in the coming years, organizations will begin developing smaller models for their particular business use cases. With a more nuanced and tailored approach, those challenges will become more critical for company executives. So that was going back to talking about having a solid foundation. But here as well, you think open source too is going to really get a lot bigger if organizations do go down this route and make smaller models. And I think with smaller models, when you think about the specificity of the problems that you're trying to solve, smaller models really will be the solution going forward, is what I see anyways. So that you may want to begin using open source now. There's a lot of really great models out there on Hugging Face. OpenAI released one as well. So there's a lot of cool stuff out there, and you don't have to worry about token limits. So that's really nice as well. All right, point number 7. Focus on solving simple, specific problems. So it's important not to be overly ambitious. They give us an AI tool checklist. It says here that most AI tools don't need to be as elaborate and complex as companies think. In many cases, they simply need to solve a specific problem. So looking at your organization, looking at the departments, and the better that you know your organization, the better that you'll be able to find these small specific problems. And that's going to lead to quick wins. That's going to lead to greater satisfaction within the organization, a better view of AI in your organization. And now for our final point, point number 8, just experiment. We talked about earlier a little bit about don't worry, or make a proper plan to address the security issues that may come from AI, but don't run away from them. So I think that kind of ties along with this, just experimenting. They bring out in the report that experimentation will always be a part of AI and advanced tools, but tinkering alone will keep us in the messy middle. So really trying to avoid that perfectionist mentality. Just come up with something, put it out in your organization, try to limit the risk that can happen, see what happens slowly, and then kind of iterate on that and then build upon it, not being scared of that. So those were the 8 insights that I got from the report. You can check it out yourself. You can find it online. If you enjoyed this video though, please give it a like, subscribe. If you really like the idea of leveraging AI to run a modern business, something else that you might like is me and my friends started a school community, the Cheddar Chase. And that's really what it's all about. It's about building a modern business. So there's a free plan and a paid plan. Here are some of the things that we offer inside the classroom. There's an N8N course, AI Basics, Customer First Launch System, and an LLC reference. So you may enjoy checking that out. I'm going to leave a link to it in the description. And thank you very much for watching this video, and have a great rest of your day.